The new Barcelona should terrify Europe. This isn't the Barcelona you remember. Hansi Flick isn't rebuilding the squad. He's rebuilding the entire identity of the club.
Barcelona is basically looking at Hansi Flick and saying, listen, whatever you want, whoever you want, whichever profile you want, we're going to get it to you.
After years of dominating through possession, Barcelona are now being transformed into something far more dangerous, faster, more aggressive, and absolutely ruthless in transition.
They are so attack-minded that all they think about is scoring goals.
Anthony Gordon is already here. Karim Adeyemi brings world-class pace. Julian Álvarez remains Flick's dream signing. But if Atlético Madrid continue insisting he's not for sale, Barcelona already have another explosive forward, waiting in the shadows. This isn't about collecting star names. It's about building a machine designed to suffocate teams without the ball, then destroy them within seconds of winning it back. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Hansi Flick's new Barcelona isn't just built to win La Liga, it's being built to dominate Europe.
If you're any other football club outside of Barcelona, I don't want to see my Benfica go against that, because I'm telling you right now, that is unstoppable.
Flick isn't collecting talent for the sake of talent. He's collecting one specific profile, over and over, and it starts with two names already through the door. Anthony Gordon brings Premier League intensity into a squad that spent years being accused of going soft against physical opponents. He doesn't fear anybody on a football pitch. Watch him against a fullback and you'll notice he's not just trying to beat the guy with a burst of pace. He's trying to beat him mentally first, making the defender believe he can't catch him before the ball even moves.
I want that challenge, I want that mental battle with the fullback to think, when he comes off the pitch, I want him to think, how hard is he to play today? So he's not looking forward to playing me again, and I genuinely want that challenge no matter how good the fullback is.
That's not confidence for show. He proved it on the biggest stage there is, picking up 3 assists and 1 goal in 4 matches at the World Cup while wearing an England shirt.
And the potential that I'm seeing when he's in an England kit, I love for Barcelona watching him at the Estadio Azteca, an atmosphere that has been one of one at this World Cup, in the way that he performed in that big moment. If you are a Barcelona fan, that was like heaven to watch, because you're getting told there, well, wait a second, this is not some training player, this is not some overpriced English player. Yeah, we paid a lot of money, but yo, this guy's got wheels.
Then there's Karim Adeyemi, a player built entirely around one terrifying question. What happens when a defender has no way to catch up?
Adeyemi, guys, is one of the fastest players in the entire world. The amount of pace on him, right? And that's something intangible that not every player can just develop. Players over the years can improve their weak foot, they can improve their finishing, they can improve their football IQ, but I will say that pace is one of those things that you can improve it, for sure. It's just like a vertical, but man, some people just got it.
He's been recorded as the 6th fastest player in Bundesliga history, hitting a top speed of 36 kilometers per hour. Numbers like that sound abstract until you watch the Chelsea counter-attack goal from 2023, where he picked up a clearance inside his own half, ran over 70 yards, left Enzo Fernandez standing still, and finished like it was a training drill. That single moment tells you everything about what panic looks like from a defender's point of view. Here's the tactical function behind both signings.
It's a 50-50 with Hansi Flick. He wants someone that's comfortable on the ball, that can run in behind, that can run in the channels, that's comfortable on the ball, that can score goals, that can assist, create, this and that. But most important as well, he wants someone that can win the ball back. He wants someone that's a great off-the-ball mover. That presses, that runs, that chases, that drops these, that tracks back.
Flick doesn't want his wingers glued to the touchline, waiting for crosses. He wants them tucking narrow, crowding the middle third, creating overloads around the box where quick one-touch combinations can rip a defense apart. And the second Barcelona lose the ball in that position, both wingers are close enough to sprint back and start the press immediately.
He wants his players that when they lose the ball, when the other team has the ball, they win the ball immediately straight away. They want that. Imagine running with Adeyemi and Rafinha and Julian and Lamine and Rafinha. That is a scary press, and that's what Hansi Flick is trying to build. That the moment Barcelona loses the ball, boom, the press is there.
Lamine Yamal is the fixed point that makes all of it work. Defenders get pulled toward him because they have to. Leave him alone for half a second and he punishes it. That pull creates exactly the kind of space Gordon and Adeyemi are built to attack on the opposite side, running into gaps that exist purely because the defense panicked about somebody else. None of this comes without risk, and it's worth being honest about it. Adeyemi's decision-making under pressure still has rough edges, and his hamstring history is a real concern for a player whose entire game depends on explosive speed staying available. Gordon carries his own baggage too, an emotional volatility that's followed him from Everton through Newcastle. Both signings are gambles wrapped around elite physical tools. But picture this front line running at a tired back four in the 80th minute. This is a group built to make defenders sprint backwards for 90 straight minutes, with no halftime reset for their legs or their nerves. None of that comes cheap though, and 2 summers ago, Barcelona couldn't have gotten near either signing. La Liga's 1-to-1 spending rule just got satisfied, and that single fact changes everything about what Barcelona can actually do this summer. Here's what that rule means in plain terms. For every euro Barcelona spends on wages or transfers, they now need a euro of value already sitting on the books, either through savings or through revenue coming in. For years, Barcelona couldn't hit that number. Now they can. That means every euro the club saves or earns can go straight back into building the squad, instead of sitting frozen while lawyers argue with La Liga's financial control panel. Rewind 2 years and the picture looks completely different. Barcelona were registering new signings days before season openers, sometimes after the season had already started. They slashed wages just to squeeze one more name onto the roster. They chased deals for months, agreed personal terms, celebrated on social media, and then watched the whole thing collapse because the financial fair play numbers wouldn't clear. Karim Adeyemi is proof of exactly how bad it got. Jorge Mendes, his agent, offered him to Barcelona multiple times over the past few years. Every single conversation ended the same way. Barcelona wanted him, the manager wanted him, and the club simply couldn't afford him. Not because Adeyemi didn't want to come, and not because Dortmund refused to sell. The money just wasn't there. So the conversation would open, get some traction, and then die the moment the numbers hit Laporta's desk. That door stayed locked for years. Now it's open, and that one shift changes what kind of team Flick can actually construct. He's no longer patching holes with loan deals and free transfers. He's building with intention, picking exact profiles instead of settling for whoever's available and cheap enough to register in January. And there's still one position on this roster where all that spending power hasn't found an answer. Every part of this new identity still runs into the same wall. Barcelona can press, sprint, and overload the middle all they want. But none of it finishes itself, and there's one position on this roster that still isn't solved.
I think it's a little bit kamikaze. I think it's a little bit crazy to go through the season without a number 9, to not replace Robert Lewandowski. To me, that is playing with fire.
Here's the situation, stated plainly. Since Robert Lewandowski left, Ferran Torres is the only recognized number 9 on the entire roster. Gordon can play there in a pinch. Adeyemi can play there in a pinch.
Hansi Flick thinks that he can work with what he has. After all, Barcelona have signed Karim Adeyemi and Anthony Gordon, 2 players that can play in a center forward position.
Neither of them was signed to do it every week. That's why Julian Álvarez sits at the top of Flick's list. And it's not even close. Alvarez isn't a striker who plants himself on the shoulder of the last defender and waits for service. He drops into midfield to link play, presses centre-backs the moment they touch the ball, and still finishes with the kind of composure that decided games for Atletico all season. He fits Flick's demands almost too well, mobile enough to drag defenders out of position, disciplined enough to lead the press from the front.
Whoever is the choice of striker that goes into this team, and I'm telling you guys right now, as a football fan and watching Barcelona, it needs to be Alvarez. They need to get Alvarez.
The problem is Atletico isn't moving. Barcelona's official bid already got rejected. Atletico has dug in publicly, insisting the club isn't for sale at any price close to what's being offered.
There is no amount of money for which Barcelona can buy Julian. He will not be transferred to Barcelona. Either pay the release clause of 500 million, or there is no deal.
Laporta has since gone on record, saying the offer stays on the table, but it's not open-ended, and Barcelona will walk away and rebuild the front line elsewhere if talks stall much longer.
Barcelona still have that offer out there to Atlético Madrid worth 100 million euros or 90 million euros fixed plus 10 million euros in variable. But of course, as Joan Laporta has said, that offer is not forever. That offer has an expiration date, and well, the expiration date is the end of this month, the month of July.
That's exactly why Eli Junior Krupi's name has entered the conversation as a contingency.
Barcelona have explored Eli Junior Krupi as an option just in case if the Julian Álvarez deal does not advance.
The 20-year-old just finished an explosive debut season in the Premier League with Bournemouth, putting himself firmly on the radar of Europe's biggest clubs.
He scored 13 goals for a teenager. That's the most ever in Premier League history. That's how good a talent Eli Junior Krupi is.
Manchester City, Tottenham, Chelsea, and Liverpool are all reportedly circling him already.
I've seen Spurs, they want to sign him. I've seen Man City, they want to sign him. I've seen Liverpool, they want to sign him. I've seen Chelsea, they want to sign him. And of course, now Barcelona are trying to sign him. If they sign him, I think Krupi would be elite. I think, bro, he can fit in, he can slot in perfectly.
Krupi isn't a carbon copy of Alvarez, but he fits the same mold in the ways that matter most.
Julián Álvarez sits in this profile as well, right? Alvarez can play as a 10, he can play as a left winger, he can play as a striker. He can play in those three positions with no problem. This man here, Krupi, can do the exact same thing.
He was very comfortable operating inside a pressing system under Andoni Iraola, a manager who demands the exact same relentless work rate off the ball that Flick wants from his forwards. He wouldn't need a full season to adjust the intensity. He's already living in it.
Anthony's system is not exactly similar or identical to Hansi Flick, but it's a similar way where Anthony wants his players in the final third. He wants his players to press, and Krupi is quite familiar with that system. So going to the Hansi Flick system, it wouldn't be something shocking, like, oh wow, I'm not used to this. I think he would, after a couple games in, he would kind of get eased into it.
Whichever name ends up walking through the door, the plan doesn't change. Pin the centre-backs, drag them out of shape. Let Gordon and Adeyemi punish the space that opens up. Put every piece from this rebuild together, and the shape of this team stops looking like an upgrade. It starts looking like something else entirely.
Expect for Barcelona's attack in the upcoming season to look very similar to the one of France during the 2026 World Cup. Very fluid, very dynamic. They can move everywhere. Everything's going to be very unpredictable.
This is where the tactics actually come together on the pitch. Flick's base shape is a 4-2-3-1, built to stay compact and suffocate space the moment the ball goes backwards. A double pivot sits behind the front four, mopping up anything that slips past the first wave of pressure before it ever threatens the back line. The real shift isn't the shape though, it's the intention behind it. Old Barcelona recycled the ball side to side, patient, controlled, comfortable. This version wins the ball back and goes forward in seconds. Immediate verticality instead of 30 passes to nowhere.
You give a lot of credit to Hansi Flick for playing a little bit differently than Barcelona typically do. Under Xavi, it was much more of the tiki-taka possession base, and while they are still very good in possession, they're very good with the ball, they're much more aggressive. Yeah. They attack their opponents rather than trying to play through them.
Picture facing this team for 90 minutes. No rest on the ball, no space between the lines, no way to slow the game down and catch your breath, because the moment you think you've settled, someone's already sprinting past you. This was never about another La Liga trophy. It's about finally solving the Champions League problem that's haunted this club since 2015. Flick has the pieces. Flick has the money. Now Europe finds out if that's enough.